Should Eli Manning be a Hall of Famer?
In my mind, no. When I look at, when I look at Eli Manning, the thing that stands out to me is moments. Okay, Eli Manning has had moments, whether it be, obviously we talk about the 2 Super Bowls that he won, where he was the Super Bowl MVP for both of them. He had moments where, the play to David Tyree when he pinned the ball to his helmet and that critical catch in that game. The throw that he had to Mario Manningham on the sideline against the New England Patriots. That was a critical moment for Eli Manning and the New York Football Giants, both against the New England Patriots. So I applaud Eli for that. But then on the flip side, when I think of Hall of Fame players, there's a consistency of excellence throughout their career that when you look at Eli Manning, there's a lot of questions that can be had about Eli Manning. This is a guy who's 3 separate times throughout his career has led the league in interceptions. This is a guy since 2009. The Giants have only made the playoffs twice since 2009. Okay, so yes, I know everyone wants to talk about the Super Bowls, and that's a big part of it. But what standard are we holding people to when we talk about Hall of Fame?
Right.
That's my thing. Because it's not the Hall of Fame of good or very good. The Hall of Fame is like the elite of the elite, the excellence. When I look at Eli Manning, can we say at any point in his career, Eli Manning was the best quarterback of his era? No, not even remotely close to saying that Eli Manning was the best quarterback of his era. So I'm going to say no.
Here's the thing, Wood. The wise philosopher Herm Edwards once said, you play to win the game. That's what you do.
How's that an argument for Eli?
He
just wanted to say that.
Because in the games, we all play the game for one reason, to win a Super Bowl.
Speak for yourself.
Play to go to I played to win a Super Bowl. I didn't play to go to the playoffs. I didn't play to make some tackles. I didn't play for nothing else. I played to win a Super Bowl.
I personally played to win a Super Bowl and also get caked up. But anyway, that's another
you play the game to win a Super Bowl. Eli not only did that once, he did it twice. Eli not only had 1 MVP, he had 2. Now, if you want to talk about, Super Bowls, it don't mean that much because what about the backup quarterbacks that have won 4? Eli is also 7th ever in touchdown passes, 7th ever in yards. Now, I played essentially my whole career for the Eagles. I never once looked at Eli and was like, man, this dude is daunting. Like, I'll be honest. But what the Hall of Fame, what the Hall of Fame has done is they set a precedent. And the precedent is, if you have numbers like Eli has, you will get to the Hall of Fame.
In this era.
That's the precedent that they've set.
Because I disagree with you. That's not the precedent that they set. Because you can look at Jim Plunkett, who also has won 2 Super Bowls, won the MVP 1 time, and is about his yards per attempt is about the same as Eli. His career record is about 500 also. You know where he's not? He's not in the Hall of Fame. So I was once on your side. And I used to argue that you can't, I would say this nonsense line about how you can't tell the story of the NFL without Eli Manning. And I was listening to High Noon one day, and Bomani Jones pointed out how ridiculous that was. I was happy right there to admit that I was wrong. Like, yeah, you can't tell a history of the NFL without a lot of guys. That don't mean you go to the Hall of Fame. Like, I would love for him to go to the Hall of Fame. Good for him. But if we are being fair and measuring him against other guys who are in the Hall of Fame, he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't. He's never been, not even whispered in MVP conversations. And you just mentioned it yourself. You prepared for Eli Manning, and you would be watching film and like, hey, he's a guy. Name another Hall of Famer.
But here's my thing.
Anybody. All the guys who just winning last year.
You said that his name wasn't whispered in MVP conversations. He got MVP at the biggest stage.
I know.
Like, we can't disregard.
So he's had moments. Isn't that what I said?
Okay.
He's had moments.
But the greats, they're known for having moments.
But you didn't address my critical point was the sustained excellence. To me, that's the biggest part of being a Hall of.
The moments are cherries. Those cherries on top.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and argue that Eli had sustained excellence. No, that's not my argument. I'm not going to sit here and say that Eli was ever the best quarterback in the National Football League. But there's no sort of, closed captioning at the bottom of the Hall of Fame. There's no fine print that says you must have at one point been the best quarterback in the National. That's not what it says. You look at the total body of work, and the total body of work says Eli is 7th in touchdown passes. Eli is 7th in total yards, ahead of guys like John Elway, ahead of guys like Warren Moon, in both touchdown passes
in a different
and total
era.
yards. Yes, completely different era. But they both got in. Look at Troy Aikman. way below Eli, but he has rings.
Yeah,
And
okay,
Troy
so
got in.
You're saying that maybe, and I guess you would think Namath is a guy who I would throw out there that probably is in for reasons outside. You're arguing for reasons outside the traditional thing. That's your argument. But saying that he had moments, like I think the moments are the icing. They make great videos, but what gets you in the Hall of Fame is sustained excellence, like you said. And if you're just talking about Super Bowl MVPs, we should put Malcolm Smith in the Hall of Fame. I mean, we should put Nick Foles in the Hall of Fame. You just got to have a big moment. He did the Philly special, caught a touchdown pass, MVP of the Super Bowl. Nick Foles, let's put you in there. Malcolm Smith was the linebacker for the Seahawks. Throw him in there. Like, you have to have sustained
Well, before we
excellence.
even get to Hall of Fame, are his days as a starting quarterback over?
Yeah.
Should he decide to join
Them
a
days
different
is dead and gone.
franchise?
Hey, we can all agree on that, Charlie. Them days is dead and gone.
All right, well,
But-
unanimous.
but-
Well, we got an agreement here on the show.
Them days been gone. But because of the moments, they gave him a few extra days.
Here's what we can't do, and here's what I refuse to do, even if I didn't respect Eli at the time I played him. You can't disregard Eli's body of work. He had moments, yes. But along with Eli's moments, he also had 33,000, I believe, if I have this number right, or 57,000 yards.
Yeah.
He also had 360 or so touchdown passes. So, yes, he had moments, but he also has numbers, too, now, Coach.
I feel like these things are contradictory. It's like you're trying to do these compiler numbers. That means he played a long time, and he was pretty okay. Like, he played a long time. That's why those numbers.
Doesn't that factor in? You know what I mean? You can have somebody who plays great for 5 years. You can't throw them in the hall because they only played great for a short amount of time.
Agreed.
I think that plays a factor.
Well, I mean,
you don't go in the hall for great for 5 years. That's the whole point. You go in the hall for great for much more than that. Like 8, 10, 12. That's what puts you in the Hall of Fame, not a bunch of average and 2 big moments. Like, it just doesn't seem fair.
But you know
Joe
what?
Flacco should be in the Hall of Fame because that playoff run, it was
Joe
top.
Flacco's not topping yards. He's not topping touchdowns.
Well, I will say.
I don't think you should. I'm just saying.
I will say
Eli
this. I think everyone can agree that Eli will probably get into the Hall of Fame.
Probably. Played in New York. Had some big moments, but does he deserve it?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.